Oh my Lord. I have not even been on yet. I don't even know if I'm on right now. I just started this. Before I even got a chance to start this thing, we've already got a super chat from the homie Imran. Imran, thank you so much. As someone who wants to lose weight but is unmotivated AF, I actually found a way to get myself motivated through stuff I enjoy. Video games, depending on how bad I lose, I do reps. What are your thoughts on that method? I think that it is an incredible way to motivate yourself. I think it's innovative. We have another member here, and I don't want to put him on blast, but he said that every time that I say wood chipper, he's going to do 20 sit-ups. He did that in the live, and it was absolutely awesome. I think that any way that you can make it fun and that you can push it through to where it's something that you're motivated to do, because motivation is really hard at first. But let me encourage you, Imran, because once you start to really get that feeling and you start to feel like fit and you start to get the endorphins from it and it's a regular thing, let me just tell you, working out becomes like its own little addiction. Like you get your own little buzz out of it, homie. Like I love it to death. It helps me get through my days. And I'm not even trying to I'm just trying to be like, I'm never going to live up to how beautiful my wife is. So all I'm really trying to do is stay medium, half-ass good looking. And honestly, it helps my mental health. It helps me not be punchy because I like to be punching people, and it helps me calm down. So I'm super proud of you, homie. I want to let you guys know before we start this, we're going to be reviewing Blair White's video about the trans school shooter and his connections to the CIA. Now, I have never seen this video before. We are completely blind reacting, but I want to say right here and now, anybody who has any shade to throw on Blair White, leave. I don't want to hear any disrespect towards Sis. Sis is gangster. I have nothing but respect for her. Me and her are going to be collaborating. If you have a problem with her or a problem with me showing her respect, you're not going to like this. Leave. Don't be here. I don't think, first off, I don't like the term transphobic. It implies that we're scared of trans people. I am not transphobic, nor do I hate trans people. I don't like people who try to push things on me that I need to align myself with, that I need to respect. I don't have any problem with trans people that are respectful. I don't have any problem with trans people that aren't creepy. What I have a problem with is when they tell me what I have to do, and when they try to involve children in it, and when they try to avoid having accountability for their actions because, oh, you can't call me out on my shit because I'm trans. That's the only thing I have a problem with. It personally does not affect me at all whatsoever if somebody wants to live their life the way they want to live their life, as long as they're not hurting anybody else and it's consenting adults. It's none of my business. I'm not a hateful person. So I think transphobia implies fear. I think that people that they call transphobic, what they actually mean is that they hate trans people. I don't hate trans people. I don't hate gay people. I don't hate lesbians. I don't hate bisexuals. I find some of these people, due to their actions, people that I don't want to fuck with, bro. Like the trans school shooter who needs to be called out on his actions. Even though he's dead, we need to recognize that this is a growing problem in this country, because there's been a lot of these types of incidents lately with people that were either trans or gender fluid or some other shit that I don't fucking understand because I'm old. But we're not going to pull any punches for anyone when they hurt kids, regardless of how they identify. Imran said, also, been a while. Hope you're doing well. Best wishes from Germany. And that is also a good method, and I have tried, but damn, it's so difficult with my crazy schedule. I barely get any time. And that is the struggle. Having the work-life schedule, balance going on with being able to work out and everything. I completely understand, but I'm proud of you, homie. Anthony Cavasso said, hey, JD, thanks for helping me out yesterday. I played some video games and started relaxing again. Thanks. Anthony, you know that you're family here and you're loved, and we are always happy to be here. Whether somebody's having the best day of their life or they're having the worst day of their life, this community is built on helping each other and building each other up. And that's everything to me. It means everything to me when one of us is struggling and I see other people in this chat building them up and lifting them up instead of taking an opportunity to punch down on them. That's never who we want to be here. This community is not about that. So when you come and you say that you're having a hard day here and you get thrown love by all these people, I think that's the most incredible thing ever. Crasher Talks and more. You are a big time inspiration, brother. Your work is incredible and inspires me to step my content up. Also, Blair is a real G. Hell yeah, Crasher. I appreciate that, man. And all respect to Blair. Blair is a really, really cool chick, bro. Emil, Blair is cool with me. Big facts. Same on that. And, you know, I'm just going to let you know, huge respect to the mods. They're here all the time doing the absolute most. As some of you who've been here before know, we get a lot of people coming in here on some wild, irreverent ass bullshit. Don't make my mods work hard. My mods have all permission to just hide you from being able to comment ever again. So if you think you're going to come in here and disrespect my mods will twatapult you. They will eject you. They will wood chip you the fuck up out of here, and you won't be able to be here anymore. And we'd love to be able to have you here, but you have to be respectful of others, and you definitely have to respect the mods. I don't care that much if you want to disrespect me. I put my face out here on the internet, and it's open season, dog. I put myself up for that. Do not disrespect my fucking mods, though. Imran said Blair is cool. I like that she calls out her own community. All the props to her. And that is, to be honest with you, that is what it is about. We should always call out our own community. We should always be the first ones to call out our own community. In prison, if somebody from your circle of people fucks up, you better step up and handle that. You better be the one to step up and handle that. It better come from you. Otherwise, it creates a really bad situation. And we need to see more of that here on the streets. Dominar, my homie, my brother, big love. Act of kindness, no matter how small, is never wasted. Aesop. Bro, I love you always. First off, I love you as a human being. Secondly, your quotes are always fire. Crasher Talks and more. JD and the mods are epic. I hope to one day be the T-Rex of your community. Lol, I say that because I'm built like one, short, chunky, and a big appetite. Bro, us fat kids got to stick together. I know I lost weight, but I'm still a fat kid in my heart, bro. Still a fat kid in my heart, always and forever. Emil, mods don't play, don't test them. Preach. That's big facts. The Barbershop Fiend, thank you so much. Big love and respect. So before we get started today, real quick, I just want to show you, this is the newest merch shirt. It just dropped today. It says sober, not soft. It has the brass knuckles with the Celtic knotwork and the shamrock and the razor blades. It comes with hats you can get. This is more hunter orange than it shows up on the screen, but it says sober, not soft on the camo, and we have it in black and white. So if you want to get that, the way that you can get that is you can just go right over here to bunkerbranding.com. It's pinned in the comments section. This is where the unsubscribed boys all have their merch. This is my personal page on their website. And we've got, the JD Delay, Mr. Chippy Wood Chipper shirt, the Florida Round and Find Out, the JD Delay logo, the Florida You Loot We Shoot, the It Is What It Tism, the Wood Chipper Tribe, and the Make Pedophiles Afraid Again Wood Chipper shirt. I forgot to refresh that. So the thing that we are actually trying to look at today is right there. Boom. It is also available in hoodies. We added hoodies recently in all of these designs. And as far as hats, we got the Sober Not Soft and the Make Pedophiles Afraid Again right now. With stickers, we got You Loot We Shoot. It Is What It Tism, the JD Delay. And that's what we got up so far. We're rebuilding after I moved here from Convict Clothing. So, I'm very happy to be with Bunker, man. Bunker has treated me very well. The fat electrician, Nick, offered to have me move over there, and I just felt like it was the right thing for me. So I'm very stoked that he gave me that invitation because I love being over there with those dudes. Now we're going to get into this. This we need to discuss, you guys. So we're going to full screen this thing, and here we go.
This Minnesota shooter, aka the trans shooter, aka the son of the CIA shooter. I'm sure it's nothing that the shooter's father, James Westman, worked CIA and DoD contractor. I think it does matter that the shooter had sponsored by BlackRock, and the Trump shooter from last year was in a BlackRock commercial.
Hold on. Do you guys hear it? Are you guys hearing the Blair White video? Was there volume for you guys? You guys can hear it? Why can I not hear this? Holy smokes. Give me 1 second. Try this again.
This Minnesota shooter, aka the trans shooter, aka the son of the CIA.
That's probably
a shooter. I'm sure it's nothing that the shooter's father, James Westman, worked as a CIA and DoD contractor. I think it does matter that the shooter had sponsored by BlackRock, and the Trump shooter from last year was in a BlackRock commercial. Like, I think that matters. I think patterns matter. Welcome back to the Blair White Project.
All right, sorry, you guys. I had a little bit of technical difficulty as far as my volume. I don't know what happened there, but we are back. We are up. We are ready to go. As you can tell, Miss Blair White has information that I personally had not seen yet. But if you remember, we did watch the, we did a live where we reviewed the entirety of what they would let us hear on YouTube. But they let us see, most of the video manifesto where he said sponsored by BlackRock. He wrote, kill Trump. He wrote, F them kids, all sorts of disgusting stuff. The dude was like heavy breathing and giggling like the Joker and talking about skibbity and shit like that. Dude was obviously demented. I feel like maybe some demonic possession was going on there. So I'm really stoked to see what Blair has to say on this, because I did not watch this prior. And I really respect Sis's work as a journalist. Pierce said, shipping to Canada? Absolutely, my guy. Ghost Rider said, hey, JD, I hope the day's going well. What happened was a true tragedy, and may it never happen again. I know the POS's dad was from the CIA, from the info I've seen. And, I haven't gotten a chance to check any of this out. I hadn't seen any of it. So you're already more informed than I am. Commentary Connoisseur said, breaking news, regular dudes can pee way farther than trans dudes. Debate over it. I'm not going to get into a whole debate on that. I don't know how the plumbing works. I've never looked into it, to be quite honest with you. But I do want to hear what Miss Blair has to say on this. But I love you, Commentary Connoisseur. I know that I get a pretty healthy stream. I could say, I'm bad with aim when I'm going really hard with it. I pee at about 60% of my stream strength, brother. You know what I'm saying? You got to know your strength. You got to know your role. Iron Gamer said, yo, JD, I feel as if I'm not working. I'm bored. Video games ain't fun anymore, and I don't know what to do. Do you have any tips? Love you, bro. Well, look, man, I would consider finding a new hobby that does still push you and feed you, because honestly, we all need something like that. I had music for a long time and my music didn't take off. I don't really feel like I got the promotion that I needed. I tried on social media and instead my videos took off, and this really feeds my soul. I found this, and doing this is incredible. Find something else, bro, whether that be working out, whether that be making video content, whether that's, learning a musical instrument, whether that's learning about history. There's something out there that's going to feed your soul, and that's important. So here we go. Let's listen to Miss Blair White. And I'm going to say this again because I know we have a lot of other people who have just joined. I will accept zero shade on Miss Blair White in this live. We respect Miss Blair White over here.
Podcast, not necessarily a cheery intro today, because in terms of, depressing topics, this episode is going to be very heavy on that. So I think I'm going to split this up into a couple different videos about this Minnesota shooter, aka the trans shooter, aka the son of the CIA shooter. We can talk about that. It was a Catholic school.
So it's crazy that his dad worked for the CIA, but his mom worked for the school that he shot up. That's pretty insane. Um, Otto Hoax said if most trans looked and acted like Blair White, people would be more accepting. I don't care what a trans person looks like. It's about, for me, it's about the way she carries herself, the way she doesn't expect anyone else to subscribe to her beliefs. She respects if people disagree with her. She's not telling you, if you don't refer to me as a female, then you're a piece of shit, bigot, racist, Nazi, fascist. She doesn't put any of that shit out there. She's just like, look, this is me. This is who I am. I understand if you want to call me a dude, that's fine. It is what it is. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? So I really respect the fuck out of how Blair White carries herself. And that's what's important to me, not what somebody looks like. As Raying of the Brothers Light, regardless of who, what you are, don't hurt kids. Huge facts on that, man. And I think that's a lot of people's problem, is that a lot of trans people seem to be hyper focused on children, and that seems really fucking inappropriate. Thoughts on Tom McDonald? Blair collabed with him. So you know what? I think Tom gets his money, dog. You know what I'm saying? Tom found his little niche. Tom found what works for him. Tom found his crowd. And, you know, as far as like musical talent and skill, the dude plays instruments. The dude can fucking rap, whether you want to admit it or not. The dude can rap. Do I think some of the shit that he does is corny? I mean, he put Roseanne Barr in a fucking rap. He put Ben Shapiro in a fucking rap song. Did I like that shit? No, but you have to give the dude respect. He's an independent artist. And as an independent artist, his song, The Devil is a Democrat, he lives in California. He did a diss track about Gavin Newsom, and it's sitting at #1 right now. Cardi B is sitting at #2, and the music industry pumped millions of dollars into promoting her single. And Tom grabbed his phone and rage baited people into getting that shit to #1. So I think that's pretty incredible. You have to give hats off to him, whether he's your cup of tea or not, you know? Error 3, the creature in the guy's journal looked a lot like a demon called Bale, famous for killing kids. Yes. So that page in his journal was a pretty revealing thing. And that's why when I don't often like interject demonic possession into things, but I think it's really hard not to have your mind go there with this creature, because this dude literally drew a picture of him. For those of you who don't know, he's standing at a bathroom mirror with a rifle strapped to his back. He's looking in the mirror and a demon is looking back at him. And I'm telling you, if you haven't watched that video manifesto, it's available on X. I'm not sure exactly where to find it at this point, because I think they were taking it down right and left. But, you know, it was a big deal. Trev just said, Victor, don't fuck around with our mods, bro. I'm going to tell you right now, bro. Victor, if you are fucking with our mods, you need to get the fuck out. You can respect our fucking mods, or you could get gone. You could get shit on. I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out. Evan Friedman said, I'd jar Blair's farts. God damn, bro. Emil said, I just threw a ball with my nephew today, been distant from the fam for a while, struggling in silence. Alcohol is a bitch. It felt good, though. Plug into your family, dog. Plug into the people who love you. Stay away from the people who influence you to do things that have negative consequences in your life, and plug into the people that are positive in your life and that refill your cup. Imran said, I think Ben actually rapped pretty well considering he hates rap, so I consider it an achievement that he got Ben to rap. Do you think that Ben wrote those lines? Do you think he wrote those verses, or do you think Tom wrote the verses and coached him through it? I wonder about that, because I did see that and I was like, damn, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I don't personally like Ben Shapiro a whole lot. Mad Child is the best. I really enjoyed his old collabs with Mad Child. The shit about getting sober and, you know, and his earlier shit, I really dug that shit, bro. I really did. I'm not going to lie. Let's get back into this.
2 children, I believe, perished and a bunch more were injured. And it goes without saying, heinous, horrible, like the most egregious thing that we all pretend, we try to pretend doesn't exist, no matter how many times it keeps happening. But There are a lot of different ways to talk about this. There's a lot of different angles you could take. Obviously, depending who you're talking to, it's going to be the Minnesota shooter. It's going to be the trans shooter. I personally would like to add a few to that bucket if it helps anybody figure this whole thing out.
And at the fucking root of this thing, if your focus is not on those kids that died, the kids that were shot, the kids that weren't shot, but are going to live for the rest of their life with that fucking trauma of living through that. If that's not your bottom line, if you try to make this into a political thing, I have no respect for that shit, bro. I have no respect for that shit. It doesn't need to be a political thing. We could use pattern recognition and realize that there's been 9 different shootings perpetrated by people that all seem to have a pattern. But if you're trying to get your political agenda out off the backs of dead, injured, and traumatized kids, that's a piece of shit move. Artemis said, JD, consider all shootings are politically motivated when you can predict they're going to be G fluid. Seems strange. Too many CIA ties and too much weaponization of trans people, 1% of the population. Question is why. So that is a relevant question. And the involvement of the CIA, I don't think is as much a political statement as it is pattern recognition, at least on a conspiracy theory level. And I'm hoping that that's what we're delving into here today with Blair. Commentary connoisseur said, if you have to be told not to hurt kids, it's already too late for you. Get in the ball club line. You get to go in the wood chipper unaware. Facts, dude. Facts. Like, nobody should have to be told that you shouldn't fuck kids. Nobody should have to be told that kids are off limits. There's no reason that anybody needs like guidance or like to be, explained to why you don't shoot little kids, man. If that's not already built inside you, you're fucked as a creature and you don't really need to be on our planet. I don't want to share air with somebody who can like look at a child and go, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to empty my fucking magazine into them, or I'm going to empty my dick into them. Those people, creatures, not even people, they need to be fucked off the planet. They need the fuck out of here. Alternative Hippie said, love from Sweden. Big love right back to you out there in Sweden. Thank you for being here today with us. Huge love. Let's get back to Blair.
Son of the CIA shooter. That's another one, right? How many shooters are going to have concrete connections to intelligence agencies before people start understanding that, you know what, that might be a thing that matters? That might be a thing causing things to happen. That might be what we should actually be screaming about rather than entering the same conversation that we've entered after every mass shooting, this same tribal, everyone pick which group they want to blame. It's so funny, you watch leftist cope, it's always a white male, and I'm sorry, it's Republicans coping like fucking hell as well. I'm sure if your timeline's anything like mine, your entire feed was, it's the guns, or it was 50%, it's the guns, or it's the trans. It's like, okay, not denying that we got more guns than people in the country, but it was a gun-free zone and a part of the country with really strict gun laws. So,
and that's an incredible point because Minnesota has some of the toughest gun laws in the country. And I can tell you this, I could probably go to any city in Minnesota and find a gun in less than an hour. And I've never been to Minnesota, and I don't know a single motherfucker in Minnesota, but I promise you, I could find a gun on the street to be able to buy, not through a gun shop because I'm a felon, but I could find a gun to buy within an hour in any city in this country. California, where they have really strong gun laws. New York, where they have really strong gun laws. Minnesota, where they have really strong gun laws. I tell you right now, I could find a gun within an hour to buy illegally in any city in this country within an hour. I guarantee it. 100%. Gun laws only affect law-abiding citizens. People with bad intentions, criminal intentions, don't give a fuck if they get their gun legally or illegally. That's just the reality here. You're never going to get the guns out of here, and this isn't this is going to sound political. This is delving into the politics of it. So I'm going to say this. This is delving into the politics of it. But to me, it seems like there is a certain group of people that want to get rid of the guns in this country and make it like Canada, where their citizens are disarmed and you're not allowed to defend yourself if somebody breaks into your home, or the UK, where the citizens have been disarmed. And if you say something bad on a Facebook post that offends somebody, you're going to fucking prison. But if you rape a kid, you're not. If you're in a rape gang and you rape women on the streets, you're not going to prison. But don't say anything offensive on social media. Never give up your fucking gun rights. Mine were taken unconstitutionally away from me. The Constitution doesn't say the government gave us our gun rights. It says God gave us our gun rights. You're playing God taking my gun rights away from me. Never give them up. Never fucking give them up. I'm going to say that right now. And if you wanted a reason and excuse to take away a large populace's gun rights from them and to seize their weapons, wouldn't having people go after the most vulnerable in their society over and over and over again be a way to try to motivate them to willingly give their guns up? Because they know that they can't take them away unless they get us to willingly do it. They need a majority in this country to take our guns away from us if we're not willing to hand them over. So wouldn't it make sense if, these intelligence agencies coerced in some way, shape, or form, however they do it, MK Ultra, other types of coercion, to have people attack these people in ways that don't make sense to normal people? I can't wrap my mind around why so many shootings happen at schools, bro. Can you? Doesn't make sense. So what would the logical conclusion be there when so many of these people seem to have ties to intelligence agencies? Jeff of the David Clan said it's gross how people will put politics in anything. Absolutely. Yo, Brendan Hole, what's up, homie? I want to point out something. Some of us went through the Gateway program and haven't spilled innocent blood. We may fight, bleed, or kill if we must, but none of us invite the death on innocent people. And you know what? I think that is absolutely relevant. The majority of lawful gun owners in this country never, ever discharge their firearms illegally. It's the overwhelming, vast fucking majority. Alternative hippie, JD, you have so much support all over the world. I love you. I love you, alternative hippie. Thank you. That makes my heart so happy to hear you say, I appreciate you.
So we can exit that conversation of that being one of the things that is a solution to this. Just like, I'm sorry, trans people disappeared tomorrow, there's a hell of a lot more school shooters and mass shooters you're going to be dealing with. So neither of those things really fix the issue, right? I'm going to be taking this in an angle that probably a lot of people are going to have an issue with.
I like it. I want her to say things that people have an issue with. I like the hard discussions. I like the problematic shit. I like talking about the real shit that nobody else wants to say. Those are the discussions I want to have, not the rehashed over and over again bullshit that people are scared to fucking talk about. That's why I like Blaire White, because she don't give a fuck. She ain't afraid to say nothing. And I don't think we should ever be afraid to say anything in a country where people died for our First Amendment right to be able to speak our fucking minds freely. I think it's an atrocity against the people who sacrifice their lives, the American citizens who sacrifice their lives, anytime we are forced into feeling scared or uncomfortable to talk about what's on our hearts or on our minds. And Blaire doesn't do that shit. And I give her props for that. I also think one solution that has been mentioned repeatedly, and I don't know why the fuck we haven't done this yet, is put armed veterans in our schools. There are so many veterans who need a purpose, who need a job, and this would be an incredible job for them. You put one armed veteran in every school, maybe two at the most, and I guarantee you we would see a significant decrease in this type of fuck shit, and you'd see a lot more people who ended up bled out dead before they could kill any of these kids. Commentary Connoisseur says, Religion has nothing to do with my plethora of bang sticks. Boom, boom. Never give them up, homie. Big love. Emil said, I kept it in when my was dying. Family praising at funeral. Should I bring it to light now? I don't know. Everyone moves on. Buy guns. Here's the thing. If you feel like for closure for you, you need to bring it up, then you should do what's right for you, homie. I fully 1000% believe you should do what's right for you. And don't worry about what anybody else's reaction to it is going to be. If you need to speak your truth for you to heal, it's about you, not them. You're the one who went through it. And I love you. Justin Spongle, Wood Chipper Tribe, assemble. Hell yeah, bro. Big love. Alternative hippie, never change, brother. You too, family. Please never change. Brendan Hull, the agencies don't need to coerce you. They persuade you. They make you feel like the world is your enemy and you must go down fighting. But this is not that kind of war. We choose to live better. Good point, homie.
But I really couldn't give a fuck. So today's podcast is sponsored by Hypnosio. It's a self-hypnotherapy app that is genuinely not like anything else in the weight loss space. And I know everyone always says this is different. This one genuinely is. Hypnosio doesn't just throw another diet at you or shame you into working out, because that never works. It goes deep and works with your literal subconscious.
It goes deep
To achieve the goals that you want. It helps you rewire the emotional patterns that lead to stress eating, binge eating, overeating, and just overall self-sabotaging your goals. It uses guided hypnotherapy sessions available on any device or through their app. It'll target things like emotional eating, portion control, anxiety eating, and even the literal guilt and stress that makes you feel stuck and is such a roadblock for so many people. It's science-backed, clinically supported, and honestly, it's way more affordable than seeing an actual hypnotherapist in person. So here's what makes it so cool. It helps rewire your automatic food responses, lowers your stress and cortisol levels so that your body isn't fighting the progress. It teaches mindful eating and real hunger cues. And it supports long-term weight loss. 94% of its users kept the weight off better than control groups. And especially if you're someone who's busy, always traveling, or just doesn't want to have to micromanage your calories, this is so perfect for you. And plans start as low as $11 a month, which is insane since it's literally reshaping your brain's relationship with food. So if you're ready to stop fighting yourself and finally feel in control, head to hypnosio.com or download the app from the Google Play or App Store.
So I just want to let you guys know the reason that I let this play through instead of skipping it is out of respect for Blair. As a creator, she did this, and I want to, out of respect for her, we could take the 1 minute and watch it. I appreciate you guys being respectful and sticking through it. I know it's an ad, but out of respect for Blair as a creator, I always want to respect everybody's hustle, man. Blair's got to eat too. Archangel Michael George Akbar. We should be able to say the connection words on YouTube. These crimes have names. YouTube should be letting us use them. Chomo is okay, but they are PDF. So look, I agree that it's disrespectful to the victims. It's disrespectful to people who have come out and tried to talk about, what's happening to them when we go on social media and they don't let it. They make us use these Dr. Seuss ass words, man. I agree, but it is what it is, and the message behind it is important, even if we have to use slippery words to get around it. Artemis said, when I say politically driven, mean bipartisan effort to build narrative that delivers ultimate outcome, eroding democracy. We are living in an MK Ultra era. How many tubers are actually opposition? Worse than we think. And I would agree with that. I think that there are a lot out there. And you can see, we just had a huge thing erupt on TikTok about left-wing creators that were paid by a dark money group. But I'm going to tell you, both sides do it. It's just a lot more on the left. The left is actually throwing a lot of money at this because they realize how bad they fucked up not doing so before the last election. They were paying creators, but not on a scale that they should, to compete with people that are natural, like Joe Rogan and these other creators that are huge that just naturally lean towards common fucking sense. Not even the right, towards common fucking sense. If you want to convince people to follow shit that doesn't make sense to you and goes against what your brain tells you is normal and okay, then you have to pay a lot of people to convince people of that. Brady Wells said supervillain names that will get you murdered in prison. 1, the diddler. 2, the snitch. 3, Captain Wife Beater. 4, Baby Shaker. And 5, the groomer. All of those are wildly accurate.
It today. Thank you so much to UFNosio for sponsoring this video. And now on to the rest of the video. I'm sure it's nothing that the shooter's father, James Westman, worked as a CIA and DoD contractor for 29 years, just 3 decades of his life. I'm sure nothing got shady, right? I'm sure it's nothing that the sigil on one of the shooter's magazines was also used by the Highland Park mass shooter. Why would that be?
I did not connect that. Did you guys connect that sigil? That's crazy. And Alternative Hippie has a great point. BlackRock is everywhere. I wonder why. Because they're worldwide. Because they supersede governments. Because their money supersedes government control and government power. I think that's what's up. And Mr. Dank 420 came in and said something that was wildly not appropriate, then came back on another profile and said he got banned. Thank you for letting my mods know so they can ban you on this one too. You were warned multiple times to chill the fuck out. You were warned at the beginning of the video not to be disrespectful. You were warned not to fuck with my mods, and then you got twatapulted. Then you came back and identified yourself so you could get twatapulted again. That's low fight IQ type stuff, Bubba.
And why is it that we would skip over that? Right? I'll put it on the screen. So the Highland Park shooter openly said he was a product of MK Ultra. Openly did social media posts about this, and apparently was also a artist or a rapper and wrote songs about it. And you can disregard that, but like, why? Like, why is MK Ultra such a horrific thing for people? I've seen so many people try to take it there. You know what I mean? I saw Candace Owens post about MK Ultra. I saw a few other people, and a lot of people are onto that. But also a lot of people are like, this isn't the time for this. This is just respectful. Shut the fuck up. Because if each one of you can jump to your sides, this left, right side thing, and everyone just say the same bullshit every time that never results in change, God forbid people try to look at some other patterns happening with all these shooters, right?
I think that it's important when we have a fucking epidemic like what we have of kids getting killed in this country, just going to fucking school, that we look at all the patterns, that we look at all the pieces of the puzzle. Anyone who's telling you that you can't look at the pieces of the puzzle that are rationally right in front of you, especially things that are like a pattern, they are the enemy. They are the fucking enemy. I don't care whether they're left or right, or if they're fucking black or white or trans or straight. I don't care who they are. Anybody who tells you to ignore the patterns in a situation where kids' lives are being taken is my fucking enemy, dog. Anybody who tells you you can't hold people accountable for their shit is my fucking enemy, dog. Because I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am an American citizen who wants to see our kids be safe, who wants to see our citizens be able to have affordable living, who wants to see everybody doing better than I'm doing, because we all rise together. We are a community, and we are a global community. It goes beyond just this country, because what's happening, like was mentioned before by our friend from all the way from Sweden, BlackRock is everywhere. And BlackRock pulls strings on our governments across this entire planet. So we all need to stick together, and we all need to call out all the bullshit, recognize all the patterns, and put names to it. Speak it. Speak that motherfucking shit, homeboy. Anthony Cavasso said, JD, you should play the video game Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. It's in a prison on another planet. You play as Riddick. The game is very grim and violent for a 2004 Xbox game. And you know, I loved the Riddick movies, bro. Pitch Black all the way through all the Riddick movies were incredible. Mike had a baby. It's a boy. Congratulations on the baby. It's a boy. Make pedophiles afraid again. Happy Labor Day. Have you ever heard of a VOP taking 2 months and still no papers? Violation of probation, taking 2 months and still no papers. No, I thought they had a timeline and it had to be submitted within a certain amount of time, homeboy. I think after a certain amount of time, and this could depend and vary state to state and the feds, I thought that it was 30 days. So that VOP might go away. I pray you and Jackson, the mods, and all viewers have a good and safe night. Love you, homie. Thank you so much. Alternative Hippie, read Operation Chaos. It will explain a lot. Thank you for the recommendation. I screenshotted that. Let's get back to Blair and see what she's talking about. I'll tell you right now, I dig what she has to say.
And I know a lot of people probably also have like just an informational block to MK Ultra. They don't know what it is, but the truth doesn't, go at a slow pace for you necessarily, right? Like there are no yellow lights with the truth. It doesn't matter if you're not there yet. It doesn't matter if you haven't considered that yet. It doesn't matter if you've never researched it. It doesn't matter if just emotionally you have a block and you're like, no, it can't be that evil. Actually, it can. We can be living in a country that the intelligence agencies conspire to create mind control slaves that go on mass shootings. And if that sounds weird or crazy to you, there's only one of two reasons. One, you've never researched MK Ultra. And as far as I'm concerned, if you're in that camp, then you can listen and learn, but you can't really listen and talk until you actually look into it, right? Number two, you have more of an emotional block to it and you're like, it can't be that crazy or that sounds crazy. Okay, well, the truth also, the truth doesn't equal sane. Like something being crazy doesn't.
I promise you, however evil you think our government, and more importantly, the people running our government that are above our government, however evil you think they are more fucking evil. They are way more fucking evil. I guarantee you. And Salty Grampy said, right wing, left wing, same evil bird, facts. Commentary Connoisseur said, I'm proud of you, JD, and I'm proud to be a part of this community that fights for kids. I love you so much, and I'm so honored and proud to have you here. Huge love and respect to you. Yo, Nelson Marrero, thank you so much for that support, homie. Loving your channel. We need to fix this epidemic. Facts, and we are all in this together, bro. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the support.
Doesn't equal lie, doesn't equal false, doesn't equal untrue. In fact, the truth is crazy oftentimes. Usually it's the craziest thing on the spectrum. And for me, I think it does matter that the shooter had sponsored by BlackRock on what was it? His
magazine.
I think one of his magazines, and the Trump shooter from last year was in a BlackRock commercial.
Yep.
Like I think that matters. I think patterns.
Yep, absolutely 1000%. Why are there so many ties to BlackRock with these shooters? It's crazy. Anthony Cavasso said, why is YouTube censoring certain words? It's so frustrating what's going on. So I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think that that's YouTube doing that. I think that it's actually Blair White, probably when she does her, probably on her Patreon. It's probably completely uncensored, I would imagine. And this is just me theorizing here. But I think that, she's worried about the monetization of this, because if they don't monetize a video, YouTube's algorithm will not push it and nobody will fucking see it, bro. So I think that she's probably has a little algorithm on her editor that goes and automatically chops the F word out. So I think that's what's going on. I also understand that we are taking a lot of breaks through Blair's video. So I encourage you guys to go and just watch Blair's video all the way through, because first off, she deserves the views. Her work is incredible. She's a great person. And also you'll get a fuller picture because there won't be so many stops and starts where we're doing commentary, but this is a commentary live, a blind react commentary live. Alpha Dragon Gaming, what's up? Believe it or not, I learned a lot about MK Ultra from watching the Why the Files on YouTube. Great conspiracy stuff that really makes you think about how crazy our government is. Keep up the good work, JD. Love you, bro. I love you, and I'm so happy to have you here today, bro. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for recommending a great channel to check out. I love you, homie.
Matter. It's not about taking responsibility off of the person who did it, obviously. It's about not wanting to allow intelligence agencies to evade the potential responsibility they have in this. And it's shooter after shooter after shooter that's connected to intelligence agencies. Why? Why? That's not normal. How many people do you think you encounter every day that are connected to intelligence agencies? It's not like a normal thing that like, oh, coincidentally. My first inkling that was a psyop was that every single group of people had a reason to blame it on a different group of people. So like there was also anti-Semitic things written on the bump stocks and the manifestos. Like 6 million wasn't enough or something.
Israel must fall. 6 million wasn't enough. Extra thick Jew gas on his gas canister. There was a lot of anti-Semitic shit. There was kill Trump. There was fuck them kids. And also, and I hate to even bring this up, but for those of you who are unsubscribed plops and pepperbacks and Brandon Herrera fans, he actually shouted out Brandon Herrera in his video manifesto. And if you haven't seen Brandon Herrera's response video to that, Brandon is a good friend of mine. And it broke Brandon's heart that a demented, demonic piece of shit like this would let his name slide out of his fucking lips, bro. It genuinely broke Brandon's heart. He's has nothing to do with this dude, no association with this dude. So, please, if you see that, understand, go watch Brandon's video and he explains it fully well. Dominar said the problem in this country is if pro is for something and con is against something, so then there's progress and then there's Congress. God damn. Straight to the point. Straight to the point with that Congress call out, man. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Anthony Cavasso said, funny thing is, I've only heard of BlackRock a few weeks ago. I didn't know there was such a large and powerful company like this from what I've heard on so many companies. So they own a ton of companies, and they're the ones that are buying up all the single family housing in this country and making it impossible for young Americans and middle-class Americans to be able to buy and own their own homes. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Archangel Michael George Akbar said, right wing, left wing, matrix, blue pill, red pill thinking. You put two colors together and you get purple. Purple MK Ultra is very real. FBI is too. And I would believe that all of these, if you have something as powerful as MK Ultra, all of the intelligence communities are going to be adept at using it. Nothing else would make sense to me. Alternative Hippie said Soros, Rothschilds, BlackRock, just follow the money. Always follow the money in anything and everything. Follow the money. 1,000%. Abby said also Airbnb is destroying the housing market with short-term rentals, pushing out locals in some areas. And yes, that's true. I've seen that in the state of Florida.
Like was one of the things written. So now you have Jews saying, well, this is an example of anti-Semitism, but they shot up a Catholic church. And then you have people saying it's trans, but then the person themselves said that they were detrans. So are they trans or detrans? And then you have, leftists saying this is an extreme far righter because if he mentioned things, he mentioned people like Brandon Herrera, who a Republican he was a fan of, but then.
I didn't know she was going to mention Brandon. What a handsome bastard. Look at that handsome man. You guys see that guy? That's my friend. He's a handsome dude. Fucking beautiful piece of shit. I love that guy, man. He's such a good dude. Alan Blackwell, thank you so much for that support, homie. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Big love and respect to you. And Raul Chamorro, old medieval tools should make a comeback. Facts, bro. I'm a huge guillotine fan personally. I love guillotines.
He also had anti-Trump shit on him. So it seems to me that it would be a perfect psyop to create a situation where the whole country, each group has their own person to blame. I saw he was anti-Muslim, but I also saw that he had like Muslim writings on his shit. This was clearly a person that hated humanity. And it is not off the table for me at all to consider how that got into them in the first place. Was it that you were just born some kind of psychopath and you just hated humanity and you were willing to do the unthinkable? Or did someone put that in your head?
I would also like to contend this, and I say this with all respect miss Blair White. But I just, the biological reality that flooding your brain and your system, if you are a male, with female hormones like estrogen, can affect people differently. There are some people like Blair White who clearly made the transition and has had incredible results. Looking at Blair White, you would be hard fucking pressed to think Blair White was born male and transitioned to female. There's other people who estrogen will fuck a dude's head up. So if he was transitioning and his head got fucked up from that because his system doesn't work, everybody's different. Everybody's brain chemistry is different. And then all of a sudden, he swears he was detransitioning. If he took that away, that would have another huge effect on his brain. Every time you flood your brain with hormones, it's going to do something fucked up. That could be a dude taking too much testosterone or tren. These are steroids. Look at Wes Watson. He's a full-blown piece of shit. And he probably does 1,000 mgs of test or of tren a week. And that tren probably made him a demented retard. Like, he's fucked up in the head, bro. He takes everything too far. He disrespects women. He's out here acting like an asshole, scamming people. Clearly money turned him out, like it had him bent over and it slid up inside him. You have to be careful when putting hormones into your body. Whether it's for bodybuilding, whether it's for transitioning, everything affects people in different ways because everybody's brain chemistry is wired a little differently. Alternative Hippie said, Brandon, Donut, Eli, and the Fat Electrician. Together they are the Unsubscribed Podcast. Ren said, Brandon's video handled everything with so much class. Loved your unsub episodes, JD. And there's more coming out. There's more coming out. The thing that was incredible for me was seeing that video of Brandon sitting on his fireplace, because the week before I had been in Brandon's house, hanging out in his living room and his kitchen, talking with him for hours into the wee hours of the night. So I was like, oh man, that's that fireplace. That's killer. I've been there. Headsnap 2 said it's just like roid rage. It is. It is. And as somebody who's been a bodybuilder, as somebody who's been on a bodybuilding team, as somebody who's been a personal trainer, I can tell you I've seen people go completely haywire, putting crazy hormones into them for bodybuilding. And roid rage can be a real life thing, you guys. So if you're transitioning and you're flooding yourself with hormones, you know, it could be the same as a roid rage. You can lose touch with reality. Alpha Dragon Gaming said Vanguard has something like $11 trillion in managed assets, and BlackRock has about 15 trillion in managed assets. Pretty ridiculous if you ask me. And they are the enemy. They are the enemy. Headsnap 2 said roid rage. How can it not happen to trans? Well, it can. If we're being realistic and we're not being fucking wired to where we're afraid to say the real shit. We have to say the real shit, even if it hurts people's feelings, especially when kids are fucking dying, bro. The same thing can happen to trans people as bodybuilders when they have roid rage. They can crash the fuck out, bro. It's just a thing. It's real life.
And it's not to, again, take the blame off the individual who pulled the trigger. And anyone who's going to act like that is being disingenuous as fuck and is a huge hindrance to actually continuing the conversation. It's about making sure that other parties also bear the responsibility of what this person did. And if they had anything to do with it, like engaging in MK Ultra, like engaging in drugging or causing a person to go insane and want to do these things. Like, I don't think people really know how severe MK Ultra was. I wrote down this one case because it's the one that's always stuck with me. This is what MK Ultra can do. In 1954, there was an airman named Jimmy Shaver. He was working under the care of a psychiatrist who was a top MK Ultra contractor named Louise Jolion West. This person, when it came out the government was doing this, was one of the people who was at the top performing MK Ultra. Okay. This man, the airman, had zero crime history in his life, never jaywalked, never hurt a person, nothing. After confirmed in the documentation hypnosis and truth serums administered to him, he was discovered shirtless and disoriented at his air base outside because he had killed in the middle of the night a little girl, a 3-year-old girl. This is someone who, again, is confirmed to have been under hypnosis by a top MK Ultra contractor. No,
I'm going to point this out. No disrespect to Blair, but we're talking about MK Ultra and hypnosis. And the ad in this was about weight loss through hypnosis. It's a little bit ironic. I'm just going to point that out. Estrogen rage does exist. Absolutely. Estrogen rage 100% exists in men and in women. I was with Graves' mom when she was pregnant and she got flooded with new hormones. Pregnant women scare the shit out of me, dog. Pregnant women scare me because that level of hormones is very disruptive and it can manifest in emotional anger, coldness, cruelness. Also, the same with, have you ever seen a woman who's going through postpartum depression? It's terrifying. It's terrifying how far down they can spiral. And it's all because of hormones. Hormones are a delicate balance. And yes, Abby has a great point. Mixing in hormones with alcohol is a bad mix. It can alter the effects. Also, try throwing in SSRIs on top of that, which should never be mixed with alcohol. You can really fuck yourself up really quickly. The gentleman said, have you heard about the Australian anti-immigration protests? I don't like to offer opinions about something I know little about. Well, it's not just in Australia, my guy. It's actually in a lot of different countries they're protesting. And a lot of people want to tell you that if you don't want, just every random immigrant from every place in your country, that it's because of their race and that you're racist. And that's a deflection. There are some cultures that are not compatible with other cultures. And those cultures sometimes come to places and they want the new land to adhere to their culture instead of adapting to that culture and the way that they have existed for hundreds of years. And that's not right. I don't care how many Muslims are in a country. If they want to adapt to that country's culture and live peaceably, that's awesome. If they want to shut down streets for their prayers while people are trying to get to school and work, if they want to try to institute Sharia law, that's a fucking problem, my guy. We don't want to flood countries that have established cultures with other cultures that are going to try to dominate that country and their culture. It's not right. And that's what the Australia protest is about, in my personal opinion. Backwoods Templar said, what up, JD? What did I miss? Crazy day at work. Well, Backwoods, we are going through Blair White's newest video about the CIA ties of the Minneapolis school shooter. Right now, she's talking about an incident where MK Ultra was used on a guy and he ended up unaliving and essaying a 3-year-old girl. Alternative Hippie said MK Ultra is a smokescreen for the real threat these days. Just saying Charles Manson was in the MK or so. Look, if MK Ultra, and I think you have a good point, like how far has technology gone? How far have we gone as far as learning about the neuroscience of the brain, the psychology of the brain? Like we have gotten so far since we started back when MK Ultra was a thing. Imagine how far they've pushed and progressed that technology. Way more than we're going to know about because they're not going to let us know about it.
No crime history, and out of nowhere, in the midst of undergoing MK Ultra, snaps and kills somebody. Now, again, is that person responsible for what they did? Yes. But I would say the people that were conspiring to hypnotize him to potentially do something like that also deserve some smoke. You know what I mean? Like if we're paying taxes to intelligence agencies that do this kind of shit, I think they deserve some smoke. And I think it's really convenient how immediately the conversation goes to all these partisan talking points that have never fixed anything ever. And I'm sorry, I'm just ready to think about some other solutions here. Like, are all these mass shootings organic? Are there really people that just go insane and do this? Or are there people that are manipulated into doing this? People who are broken in other certain circumstances, mentally ill people that are preyed upon by intelligence agencies. I also think it's very convenient that the corporation that was the CIA contractor that the father worked for was called Esri, I believe. And want to talk about how there's purposes for things, right? This is a private contractor that provides pre-crime intelligence to the government. One of the things that they do. Data about who may commit a crime. And immediately, all over, I saw clips on Fox News, on CNN, of experts coming in and suddenly advocating for AI systems that pre-guess crime.
So Palantir has gotten such a monopoly of government contracts as far as their AI, their surveillance. We're moving towards a police state that will try to determine that you're going to commit a crime before it happens. There was a movie about this. Was it Demolition Man? Where they had pre-crime? No, it was something with Tom Cruise. And they had oracles. Well, Palantir is in real life working towards doing that. So it is it's scary to me that they're going to try to determine that you would commit a crime before you commit it and be able to arrest you for it. But that's where we're headed. And what they need is surveillance everywhere, facial recognition, and to be able to monitor people's daily lives through data farming, data harvesting, what they do on social media, where they go, throughout their day, what they're buying, all of these different elements to get there. And that's why we're having such a war on data. That's why Tesla isn't so much a car company, an EV company. It's a data collection company. That's why Elon bought X, because social media is an incredibly good way to data farm people. TikTok is an incredibly good way to data farm people. Not just what you post, not just what you comment, what you like, what you share, how many seconds you stay watching that anti-Israel video, how many seconds you spend watching that video, for this or that. All of that information builds a profile on a person. The Howling Gamer said, brings a whole new meaning to going pro plus ultra. Facts. The intellectual iconoclasm, Ted Kaczynski, the youngest confirmed MK Ultra test suspect. It goes far and wide. And so when we have all of these things that have through history been significant incidents linked to MK Ultra, I think we're moving out of the realm of conspiracy theory with this, guys. Thank you guys for letting me know it was Minority Report. That's exactly what it was. And in real life, they are working towards being able to do that with AI instead of oracles. Joe Sonder, pre-crime intelligence Minority Report movie with Tom Cruise based on a Philip K. Dick novel. Thank you so much. That's perfect. Thank you. I think it's important to also, anytime we bring up Tom Cruise, to let everybody know he's a Scientologist piece of shit. Fuck Tom Cruise and fuck Scientology.
I am now about to launch Gideon, America's first ever AI threat detection platform built specifically for law enforcement. It scrapes the internet 24/7 using an Israeli-grade ontology to...
An Israeli-grade ontology. Yeah.
pull specific threat language and then routes it to local law enforcement. It's a 24/7 detective. It never sleeps, and it's going to get us in front of these attacks.
Predetermine if you're going to commit a crime or not, which is a huge infringement upon your freedom and your rights, which it's so funny how that always seems to follow incidents like these. And whether it's a case of they created the incident to do this and to roll in this AI intelligence systems, or They just want to heighten your suggestibility, which happens neurologically immediately after trauma, which it's traumatic for everybody to hear about this. This is a fact about the human brain. Immediately after trauma, suggestibility skyrockets. It's why after 9/11, they were able to put in all these laws that infringe upon your freedom, that we're still getting sexually assaulted in TSA to fly, 2 states over every time, right?
So I think important comments is Alternative Hippie said, it's not a conspiracy when it comes with hard evidence. Facts. Right below it, have we fallen? Too much noticing. Yeah, absolutely. Some random guy, did Blair's video get taken down? Blair's video is not down. We're actually watching it right now through YouTube, so it's still available. It's still available, and anybody who wants to watch it without all the breaks, please go and support Blair and watch the video. Danny said social media uses an MK Ultra tactic called the Alice in Wonderland technique so they can target certain people without the person ever knowing it. And I think that there's such a huge amount of people that are vulnerable that end up on social media and they end up getting duped, sort of brainwashed, weaponized, galvanized into doing some pretty terrible shit.
It's the same reason why during COVID, there were all these nonsensical rules, anti-logic rules and regulations you had to follow that made no sense, but everyone's suggestibility was so high because of the trauma and the traumatic situation. A lot of people don't.
And I will always say this, I am 1000% grateful that during COVID, I lived in the state of Florida. And I will always be grateful whether I agree with everything he does or not. I'm not a supporter of politicians. I'm a supporter of policies that make sense to me. But Ron DeSantis, the way he handled COVID was what was right for Florida. It was what was right for me. It was what was right for Florida. It was what was right for so many people out there. The way he handled that situation saved a whole lot of people's livelihoods, their lives, and their sanity. Because I know that there was a lot of people who lost their businesses, who lost their homes, who ended up becoming dependent on the government and the government handing them out things. And that's what the government wants. They want you to be dependent on them. They want you to need them. They want you to feel indebted to them. They want you to feel like you can trust the government. Never in your life trust any form of government, you guys. As soon as you've decided to trust a government, any government, you've already lost the plot and you've lost your freedom. Dragon, yo, JD, great content. Love your shorts, short and simple, straight to the point. What's your perspective on this shooter's mindset? Keep it up. I think that this shooter, I don't even think it was a mindset. I honestly believe that it went more into a spiritual thing. I think that there's a high probability that he was manipulated. But I also think that there is some sort of a fucking demon inside that creature. Kevbo, there's a channel out here called Eyes Wide Open. All right.
Don't like when you take things to demons, but the shooter did in fact draw himself looking into a mirror with a demon looking back, looking like a Baphomet, and a conversation written in another language that was translated to, let me get the exact. This is the conversation between him and this demon in the mirror. When will this end? Help me. I don't want to. Help.
And Blair White said it too. Like I said, I did not watch this before. This was a blind react. Blair White brought up the same thing. Cue ball, great to see you, fam. Backwoods Templar said, those who are willing to trade freedom for safety deserve neither freedom nor safety. Benjamin Franklin. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. The second that you're willing to hand over any aspect of your freedom, whether that be freedom from surveillance, freedom of speech, Second Amendment rights, for an illusion of safety and security, you do not deserve freedom, nor do you deserve safety, because you have handed it over to the government, which should never be trusted. Jester said, love you, brother. Pray for my nieces. I hate evil. I'm with you all day, brother. Big love and respect. Tony Baloney said, hey again, JD, did you guys get any more information about the Horseshoe Beach cell tower outages? I still can't find anything about it online. The thing is that I looked into it and I couldn't find anything about it either, man. which seems pretty sketchy to me. Kevbo said this isn't conspiracy theory. This is a factual conclusion. And I would say that when you have so much evidence pointing to something and you learn to recognize patterns, it is the logical conclusion, my man.
And then the demon saying, kill yourself, kill. So I don't think that you have to necessarily even come at this from a theistic, like spiritual. I believe in the spiritual reality here, and I believe that there is an actual sentient being on the other side of demons. I think it's not just a thing people say. I think there's an actual sentient being behind that is evil.
Yep.
But if you don't want to go there, what you can, through modern psychology and neuroscience understand is there are certain archetypes that have evolved within the human brain over the course of our evolution that you can tap into to accomplish different things. Even if it's just an archetype in the human brain, a demon that people can access, we need to know how to stop people from doing that. I believe that it was a demon. And it gets even, that's why people just don't want to have the real conversations. You think, the demonic realm is so separated from government. Okay, then have you looked at MK Often?
MK Often. Does anybody else know what MK Often is? Because I haven't heard anything about it.
Which is when the CIA infiltrated covens, Freemason lodges, occult groups to harness communication with demons for defense purposes and for military purposes. It doesn't matter if it sounds crazy to you. You've either done the research or you haven't. It's easy to find. It's admitted by the government. So we have a government that admits to hypnotizing people and mind controlling people for the purpose of being sleeper cells or assassins. This is openly admitted stuff. The CIA had to go to court and pay victims out. And it's not just America that has their version of MK Ultra. This is something that countries do. And countries do it because other countries do it. We have programs like that because during the Cold War, Russia had programs like that. You can't, mind control is not something that is science fiction. You can hack a brain like you can hack a computer. And you can have it do very specific things. So those two things together, you have a government that admits to knowing and optimizing the ability to mind control people. And then you have a government that admits to fucking with demons and harnessing demons for the purpose of military.
So there's a lot of people saying they don't believe in demons or spiritual stuff, and that's fine. That's fine. I respect everybody's belief system here. There are other logical things that we can point to as well. And you can take it either route that you want to take it. Either route that you want to take it, as long as you're noticing that there are patterns here and you're noticing the people who are involved in the patterns. That's what's important.
Action. MK Often, you can look it up. That's part of the thing that's hard here is that people just aren't researched on this. And I get it. And I say that with a humble heart and humility because I was not always. But you come to a certain precipice where you do know enough and you do research enough where you say, I would be a fake ass bitch to just join up here in this conversation everybody's having, where it's a left or a right problem or and it's not intelligent.
Did you guys catch that when she said bitch, the little sound effect was a dog barking? I think that was fucking lit, bro. That was lit.
Intelligence agency problem. And even if that's not the case here, which I don't know, I can't make up that his dad worked for the CIA, right? Like I can't make that up. I can't make up that the CIA has a history of doing this shit. So when the writing's on the wall, you have to look at what are the things that are stopping me from reading the writings on the wall. Well, I'm kind of being brainwashed by my fellow citizens, how everyone is so convinced it has to be a gun problem or it has to be a this problem or it has to be a that problem, when really it might be a government problem. So you're kind of there, but like a government creating these situations problem.
And why would governments want to create situations like this? What is the only logical reason that governments would want to create situations like this? Why would our intelligence agencies want to create situations where little kids are being gunned down? Why would they possibly want that? What would their interest be? Because you always have to look at the why. You always have to look at the why. A lot of the time it's money. Always follow the money. But Trev just nailed it 1,000% to scare us so they can disarm us, to get control of us so that we're so frightened that we willfully, the majority of people willfully hand over their guns for the illusion of safety, for the illusion of protecting our kids. And then the wolves are at the fucking door because we have nothing when the government tells us, hey, we're taking you to fucking prison because we don't like your Facebook post. We're taking you to fucking prison because you peacefully protested something that we didn't want you to. You have given them complete control over you. The fear leads to disarmament. The disarmament leads to them having complete and utter control and you having no way to ever fight back. And I have believed that for a long time. There are conspiracy theories that I believe to be true that I don't even talk about because I don't want to say things that are going to be too far out there. I don't want to say things that are going to be, I saw Alex Jones talk about certain shit and he lost fucking everything. I want to still be able to have a voice. And if I could prove it, I would speak it no matter what. I would speak it no matter what. And I wouldn't care about the consequences. If there was concrete proof, I would speak it to my fucking peril. But when it's a theory, I have to hold back a little bit because there's real life consequences. And I'm hoping that we get evidence on some of these things. I'm hoping that we get evidence behind what was really behind things like 9/11. I really, truly do. I hope that we get evidence as to why there's so many intelligence agencies involved with so many of these incidents where innocent people are fucking killed. Our children are the collateral damage. But I can tell you what makes sense to me. Fear, to disarm, to control. That's what makes sense to me. Kevbo said, as an ex-drug addict, probably meant an ex-drug addict. I will tell you, the veil between this world and the spirit world gets real thin when you get deep into your addictions. There is a battle between love and fear or good and evil. And you know what I thought was a really good prime example of that? And it's a movie, but the newer, not the brand newest, but the newer Evil Dead, the remake, where they take her out to the cabin and she's withdrawing from heroin. And because she's withdrawing from heroin, she's more open to the spiritual realm. She's vulnerable. And that's why the demon takes her first, because she's more open to it. I can tell you, having stayed up for 8 days, 9 days at a time on methamphetamines, the line between good and evil, spiritual and real, what's real and what's not real, it all gets real blurry, homie. So I agree with you. Joe Saunders said complete control is anti-American, just saying. And I think that there's a lot of people that have a lot of control in our government and above and beyond our government that pull the strings on our government that want complete control. And I do believe it's anti-American. I think that there are traitors amongst us, you guys. I think there are traitors amongst us at the highest fucking levels. I think there are traitors amongst us who do not give a fuck about the American citizens or our kids. We are nothing but a workforce to them. And the second they can reasonably replace us with a more efficient and cost-effective workforce, they will start thinning the herd even more. I believe that. So giving up our guns should never be an option. That should never be on the fucking menu, in my opinion. Love you, Big True. Great to fucking see you, man. Look, you guys, there's more time on this Blair White video, but I don't want to watch the whole thing because I would like for you guys to go and check out her conclusion from her actual video out of respect for her as a creator. So please go and watch the conclusion of Blair White's video. I'm going to jump off here and get myself some Labor Day dinner. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you guys. Mob Stopper, you're the fucking best, homie. This community has changed my life. This community helps give me purpose daily. Each and every one of you is such a significant and integral part of me and my family's life. And I want to thank you for everything you do. I want to thank the mods. I want to thank everyone who's commented and watched. I want to thank everybody who's done supers. Your guys' support keep us going here, and we love you wholeheartedly. Black Thunder 48 said, yeah, the reason why I didn't want to release the Epstein list is because they didn't want certain names associated with each other, and those names have a lot of political influence at the highest levels in the world. In the world, the ones above the governments. The shadow government people. I agree. Backwoods Templar said, from my cold, dead hands. I love you and I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, one love, baby. Be good or be good at it.